Candy Steps, though. The zone landed here. We talked about that changing the dynamic of the game. And surely we're seeing it start to come into play now. As Resigns and Dama have made it out the storm, so is Shari and Gyros, the same teams here. But then off in the distance, you have Peterbot with the eyes on the prize here.
Not only that, but Benno as well, keeping himself concealed just enough. Gets the chop off the Resigns' floor. Also gets a few tags in, but still not enough for Benno to want to key him just yet. Instead, he's going to regroup with Clix and continue to hold down the station, but it's just a very difficult time to try and break away when you know that there's two other teams duking it out just above you on the hill.
Kovacs almost missed the train there, but he gets it just in time to join Huddy. They're pretty desperate if they're trying to secure loot from here. And that's the results, again, of sitting in the storm, being contested, being held a little too long for a moment there.
Huddy not even going to choose to stick around. They wanted the train. They nearly had it. But the fact is, MBF, they're going to have to leave this one empty-handed. And now, with only a handful of bandages in tow, Huddy and Kovacs could potentially be staring down the barrel of their own downfall. It was a risky play to try and make it for the train. I respect so many eyes on.
Bunker play right now for Ping. No teammate, unfortunately, lost here just outside the underworld. So even for Huddy and Kovacs, there's still danger nearby. You never know who's sitting in the storm. Just really shows you that anything can happen. Meanwhile, Bryce and Bolts, this is one of the few times you've actually caught up with them kind of in the early / mid game here as things are starting to develop. This time it's up against Body Out and Reason. The floor tick here for Bolt. Bryce playing the other angles. Bad damage though coming in first.
Padilla has just been on fire today. He is not willing to budge. The moment that he sees an opening, he is immediately shooting back and typically winning out on some of those exchanges. And now he's able to overtake the high ground because of the damage that he applied onto Bolts just now. But Reason, the moment he starts to crank up, another team in the distance, a solo even, potentially threatening his position. Got a few shots in, but Bryce, Bolts, potentially not fully aware of the damage that Reason just absorbed. And they're gonna choose to actually sit into the low ground and wait for a new opportunity to see if they can engage yet again with the Germans.
Reason and Vidal playing a dangerous game here though. A lot of these walls are not theirs. They are sitting in all this Bolts and Bryce territory. Now they have successfully infiltrated, if you will, this base here and taken over a good portion of it. Bryce is looking like he might be going for the edit out. If I've ever seen one, it's definitely getting set up. They recognize what's happening, and for that reason, jump back down.
Again, though, this is a lot of time being spent from both sides, and we've already seen a lot of teams here today struggling with some of these surge thresholds and maintaining damage that puts them in a position where they can just be comfortable on their rotates. And the longer these fights draw out, the easier it is for other duos to get ahead of you, to look back, take shots, prevent you from entering a solid position inside of the zone. And Baka and Pars, a little bit more so in control. Surge base inside of the heart of Nitrodrome. They've got a couple of white heals collected at the top of their base. Meanwhile, finally getting a little peek into what Cold and Acorn have been up to. Relatively quiet day so far, but we heard it first from Acorn. He's after that trophy.
Day 2 team, still yet to show us it today. Couple points slipping down here from Acorn and Cold. You know, these things do happen. The adjustments being made by the other opponents have surely affected their strategy. But they will have to continue to adjust here, continue to make up for it. Bugha and Aviv seem to be on a faster track here today as well. Let's see what's going on here. So from one fight to a potential other, they're just getting situated. Seems like they found their home for now.
Slight gift as well. An extra bottle of Flowberry Fizz now to work with. Steve and Bugha just want to make sure that they establish as much of a foundation as possible. Got a decent position inside of the zone, so don't need to make any risky plays when you're sitting with as much surge damage as they were, 333 above. But Acorn Cold tapping back in. It's Sato. They managed to find him yet again, but it's actually going to be Damo on the other side of the walls. Lot of traction picking up here. Just outside of Sandy Steps, and Acorn Cold, they're looking to collect. Cold still barreling down onto Cal Gamer, but just above, the backup has arrived, and Cold, he's gonna have to disengage.
Yeah, Taman out of nowhere here, diving across, trying to get into this fight. Acorn and Cold almost had a set of eliminations waiting for them, but due to Clix and Vino shooting in at the box when they initiated, everything went downhill for a moment there. And now they're just trying to find a tag as they're below the surge, so they're in honestly desperate situation here.
At the same time, Acorn tries to take the walls there, but instead it's gonna be Cal and Aman doing what they can, but again, Cold getting a little bit too much foot traffic here. Cal still holding his position firm. He doesn't have his duo any longer, but Clix, Veno, they got the shots that they needed to. They know that they can third party this, no problem. Cold, he's so weakened as is. Cal just below. Two separate solos that Veno and Clix could look to collect on.
Yeah, they've definitely started to change their focus in purely onto Cold now as they send him running. Now looking to see if they can pick up the spoils of the loot from Acorn, but nothing just yet, as they're kind of lost in this mix, and little do they know there is an Intellect and Sato here, right? So that team hasn't made any noise now, but look at that. They do secure the gear here. Very nice pickup for them. If nothing else, it was damage and new loot.
They basically just got to reap all the benefits of these exchanges that Acorn and Cold had initially established. And Cold, yet again, caught off guard, was trying to keep himself tucked away, but Cal gets the job done. At the very least, he'll have those two solid eliminations onto Acorn and Cold to work with, but he knows he's likely not safe for a whole lot longer here, because Veno and Clix, they've got an idea. They heard those shots go off. They're waiting for Cal to surface from these builds. But at the same time, they also kind of want to get a move on because they don't want to get stuck in the storm for too much longer here.
Yeah, it seems like Vino's going to give the call out here. Let's just get out, play smart. Clix is going to have to stop and heal for a second. They're going to huddle up together. Cal Gamer will live to see another day. Very, very close engagement there.
I always think it's so impressive how every single time we check in with Easy and Thomas HD today, it just seems like they have so much surge, and for good reason, but somebody who wishes they had a little bit of backup at this point. Kovacs just lost his duo to King, and this exchange has been trailing them ever since the Rebels roost. King and Phaser have refused to leave Kovacs and Huddy alone, but now Kovacs as a solo, he's got to deal with the likes of Breet and Ritual to his east, and not only that, but a collection of duos slightly west of his current position. A late rotate is going to be a necessity if he wants to power his way through here, but some of the shots that he's applying, he knows he needs to get that damage just above threshold, and still exposing his position. It's a risky engage.
Bugha and Aviv on the other side find their way to the new zone. The half in, half out already revealed. They're below the surge though. They will have to find a duo or land on someone shortly, and from their sights, there isn't anyone nearby. There it is. Finally, they see a fresh build. It's going to be Teeny, and it's a single box, so the confidence is surging here, but Bugha, damage first. No extra heals. This is all around disastrous, right, for Bugha and Aviv right now. And it's only a matter of moments. They will have to do something shortly. Meanwhile, Huddy already out. Kovacs below the surge as well. Will fall here shortly if he can't find a tag now. But Reek finds it instead, and that's your 5th place team now. Consistency tossed down for once. And it's looking like a repeat performance of yesterday for Huddy and Kovacs.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to really be able to bulldoze your way as a solo through Re and Ritual of all duos. Peterbot and Pollo, though, this is the furthest we've seen them make it all day today, so they're clearly trying to ramp up for a big performance here in the ninth lobby, but Clix and Benno, on the other hand, they've got Gears and Sherry in their sights, got a very efficient cutoff, but more importantly still, they need more damage. It's gonna take them some time, but finally Clix will connect. 77 above though. Damage threshold just continuing to threaten so many of our teams here today.
Yeah, if you were hoping to get lucky with Peterbot and Pollo, that already happened, right? Like 2 games, unprecedented. Doesn't happen often for them not to be in the end game. So this is everyone's chance now. The playing field has been even, nicely done by Aviv here. Not only did he actually pick up and save Bugha, but he manages to find damage to keep them in the game and enough damage on the duo to have them to stop peeking so they can rotate, but it is not looking good for Aviva and Bugha. I don't know what more we can expect of them, but there are a lot of duos there. Toyota and Mapoli, the strongest Asian duo from day number 1. They finished in 10th, so they came in today with a lot to live up to, but have fallen a bit short now up against the likes of Aviv and Bugha here. What can Ping and Walks do?
If there's ever a time to prove himself, it's now for Aviv, but he has so little HP to work with. But he has plenty of targets surrounding him. Bugha, though, just too low for the count. Sato's gonna find him. Aviv trying to go massive now to Reed. A little bit of spoiler, getting some tags and cracking those shields. But the fact of the matter is, Aviv and Bugha, they squeeze their way into the top 10, but they still go down for it.
Yeah, meanwhile, Thomas HD, you see there, just racking up eliminations, damage, everything that you could be hoping for. And there's another one onto K Shoto outside of the zone here, trying to make their late rotates. Clix, it is not looking good for him at the moment, as he's also in the storm right now. Vino is down. This is just a desperate spot to be in.
Clix, if anything, was just hoping to play for maybe another elimination at the end of the day, though. He's only got a little bit of sliver of HP to work with, but it's just enough. He might be able to clutch out at least 1 or 2 more placements if he can just stay hidden, fully concealed from the rest of the lobby. Only 3 builds, though, MDF. I fear we're looking at the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's definitely looking really close here. 8 HP for Clix, 3 mats to work with, late on the rotate here, barely above the surge. It's just so tough, but he's staying alive here, earning little bits of placement, right? All this does start to add up here. Finds Mapoli, very weak, almost gets an elimination there. Someone else ends up stealing it, but still, he's in the game right now, holding on.
He's at least got that 33 damage above the threshold. But again, MDF, it's just the odds so fully stacked against him. Any of these next builds that he crosses over could be his last. Teams could just be waiting for a perfect opportunity to scoop up a free 6 points. From the backside of the zone, though, Clix continuing to try and charge through, hoping that he could catch another player off guard, but he sees Gone. He knows that there's a notched body, but he won't be able to power through and push into these boxes with the armored walls going up, instead trying to remain concealed. But Pollo, Peterbot, they're gonna find him.
Of course, it's Pollo and Peterbot waiting to catch them in the web. Look at this, though. Cammy and Seti, they talked about what they need to do in order to win this tournament here, and that is win more games. They got the last round, and then they didn't even sit down and celebrate. They know that they have to stay absolutely locked in here. But Queasy and Thomas HD are doing the same right now. Below the surge, though, things can continue to develop here. Vico and Flixie now on the move. 3 Elans. Peterbot and Pollo very situated right now, but low on material.
Low on material, not only that, but Vico and Flixie hot on the heels as well. You have to consider they're making up a lot of lost ground just off the eliminations alone. And Peterbot and Pollo know it. They're just gonna try to play it out and control the low ground for the time being. but with that reveal medallion scanner having just gone out, it's a fresh opportunity for them to see if they can close in on somebody else. Chicho, though, with a big tag onto CZB. That's going to be the knock, and Peterbot instead finding Badil in the bottom layers. That's going to be a beautiful refresh for him and Poyo.
This is starting to look like a four-way race unless Dukes and Sphinx can get a win. They're another top 10 team, of course, but Peterbot and Poyo are cooking right now. And also, they picked up material here. This low ground performance is one to take note of. On the other side, Thomas HD and Queasy are also playing the low ground here, but not so hot looking for them at the moment as they are running out of material. So very different start situations happening here.
They're at least healthy, though, and with that Gatekeeper shotgun primed, it only takes one good shot for Thomas HD to find the refresh necessary. They're going to continue to sink in from behind the rest of the foot traffic there, playing from the backside of zone. Peterbot, Poyo, meanwhile, staying ahead of the pack.
Thomas
has lost Thomas. He's going to opt for the medkit opportunity instead, and with 0 builds remaining, it's all going to boil down to whether or not he can even make it into the zone and stay concealed enough for nobody else to pick him off.
There it is. He's going to break through the sidewall. This is all been edited. Baka's very weak. White HP. The armor wall comes through. Not worth, of course, pursuing at this moment. He has to focus in on staying in the front side here. No build to work with. Enemy around the backside. Can he get one more point for him? This is huge for Queasy now. Earning points, earning eliminations. He has to stay ahead of Peterbot, who is on the low ground with a down teammate. Peterbot, so much more to work with, however. It's still so close for everyone else. Another med kit is going to start coming out for Queasy.
He's just doing everything he can to survive. Peterbot, though, going to pick up Teeny in the process. Queasy finds another into Rapid. Not going to get a chance, though, to collect the body loot instead. He's scrambling, trying to remain out of sight here. Tulix and Chicho right behind him, but Peterbot grabs him in the end.
That's exactly what he needed as well. Peterbot trying to take back these points here. Finishing off Trulex now. Inside of a top 5 situation, up on height. It's Dukes, though, with Peterbot looking to fight back. Do not count him out. It is all solos remaining here. Tito goes down. The next one is down too. Batman Booga sent back to the lobby. 3 players now here. Peterbot looking at 1v1v1. And another one. Down goes Bars. Can he find the final fight here? Dukes is excellent in these type of scenarios, but Peterbot is just a little better. Up top, the high ground hit is good, and he needs to go. And he does it again.
Peterbot, there is a reason why everyone is regarding him as the best in the world, and with a performance like that, he might just be.
Put him in the box, wrap him up, and send them back to the lobby is the motto here. Well played.
Would you please, forward, put your hands together for Peterbot and Poyo! Oh my, Peterbot, that is how, that was ice cold. That is how you do it. Walk us through the last part of the game there. We just saw you sweep up. You are like unstoppable.
Yeah, I don't know. I just eliminated everyone. I mean, everyone was a solo players on me. Gold Gatekeeper with Drum Mag, I was just eliminating everyone. It was pretty easy.
I mean, you're right there with the guy. The crowd are behind you too. Poyo, unbelievable work from your duo partner here. When you see that in the end game, how are you reacting? How are you feeling in that moment?
I saw it was 5 solos, and I just had a feeling he was going to win the game too. I just had a feeling.
You just had the instinct. You just knew it was going to happen. Peterbot as well. Obviously, the first 2 games they didn't go according to plan, but that is the way to go into the break on this final Sunday. How do you guys feel like the first 2 games? Things are really looking good now going into this break. What do you do to regroup during this this halftime break?
Yeah, we're gonna talk to our coach and go over the first 2 games and see what went wrong, and yeah, we'll go from there.
And anything you want to say to Queasy and Thomas HD for the first couple of matches as well? I mean, obviously the crowd here are very excited too. He's checking his stats on screen. He's looking at the leaderboard, and we have ourselves a, hey, this is flip-flopping all the way here, but there's a difference in points now. You guys are back on top.
Thank God. God did.
Okay, and Poyo, going into this last part now, you two, how are you feeling? Are you confident that that is definitely within your grasp? 3 games left to go.
Yeah, I think we can win. Just replicate what we did last game and the other games we won yesterday as well.
Okay, well, let's see exactly how it's going to unfold. One more time, Fort Worth, give it up for Peterbot and Poyo! This is one serious Global Championships final. 3 games left to play today. We can't wait to see what happens next. Zeke, what do you guys think? This is blowing my mind.
My hands are up. My hands are up. I don't know what's happening anymore. I cannot even believe this. First off, how did this game end as a solos? This is a duos competition. Solos running around, and just the fact that Peterbot pulls off one of the most insane solo clutches, right? I mean, Pollo goes down in 11.
Yeah, and then Peterbot, one by one, systematically takes out the rest of the lobby. And you can see it in his load up right there. And he called it out, the Gatekeeper, with that drum mag. So no longer does he just have 3 shots. Oh, is there 5 solos? Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I have in my Gatekeeper. I am going to take down everyone. And it was such a good run from them on the low ground. Even though they did have a little bit of a rough start with these first 2 games of the day, they did not let that knock them down. And now they're knocking everyone else out.
I mean, this is what you need to do to win a global championships. You need massive solo clutches like this. I mean, these final moments right here, every single elimination, every single refresh he was able to get was just compounding. Look at all these builds that he was able to get. Double elimination right there was absolutely crazy. And I noticed when I looked at the Jukes POV, Jukes had no materials. So Peterbot had the advantage. This elimination on low ground was crazy as well. Peterbot had so many more materials than him, so he took height perfectly. And I thought for a moment there was a moment last Globals where Jukes had an insane solo clutch from the low ground. I thought, are we going to see a similar sort of thing again? But then, of course, it's Peterbot. He was only going to win that.
You know, they like to say that sometimes people like to put people into a false sense of security. Oh, Peterbot and Pollo, day 2, they're washed. Everyone else, this is when they put them into that sense of, maybe we have a chance. Oh no, Peterbot and Pollo, they're still there to fight. They're still there to show that they are the best in the world and at the top of the leaderboard.
Oh no, they've reclaimed that spot for just a moment. Thomas HC Queasy had it. And for a moment, it was like, okay, the reign's over. Could this be the moment? And then Peterbot and Pollo answered that question. No! Nice try, fools! I cannot believe what we just witnessed. And 10 eliminations. Remember, the victory round is worth 100 points by itself.
Yes.
You slap 60 points on top of that. Here we are. Here we are.
56 eliminations. Look at that column 1 in from the right. 56, and nobody else comes even close to that. The second place team, Thomas and Queasy, 29 eliminations. I mean, we saw them do it online. We saw them W King. We saw them being such a menace to the lobby. I think a lot of people, myself included, were like, are they really going to be able to do that on this global stage in front of the best teams in the world, in front of this amazing audience in person? Yes is the answer. Yeah. They can do it. They can still do it. And I mean, that's a great response after the first 2 games. Wasn't the best for them, but that's a response of winners right there.
However, there are still 3 more games to go. We have already seen the leaderboard in first place change between 2 teams, and we do see that there are other duos on that leaderboard that are within reach. And we now know that Peterbot and Pollo are not invulnerable. We did see them go down in games 7 and 8. There is a possibility that that happens again. However, I love what they're saying. They're going to go back to their coach. They're going to go review specifically what went wrong in those games, and hopefully they never replicate it again.
That's right, and you saw them there on screen. Yep. They're right at it, right? They are really quickly trying to identify those issues. On the flip side, Thomas HD and Queasy, right? How they must be feeling. For a moment, it was ours, and now the rug pulled out from underneath them. We have a listen-in from this last game. Take a look.
Stay down there! On me, I'm probably dead. On me. I'm dying right here, and there's 2 splashes. Nice. He's hella solo, bro. Nice, bro. You have 5 metal walls. Body. Also, bro, all solos. 5 solos. Nice. Get 2 bodies there. 2 more solos. You need to reload. One's on height. I think you go up. Nice, bro. Step 20 foot, but you can fizz. Nice. I'm the best player in the world, baby! Oh my god. Come on! Let's go! You're actually crazy. Holy, bro, let's go!
Yeah, so remember for like a moment, like a lot of yesterday, we had that like super cocky Peterbot, and then like for the first 2 games he was there. He's back, he never left again. He was just like, it was like the dangling the carrot, like, yeah, everything's cool, everything's fine. These guys are beatable, just kidding. That's not the case.
I do want to mention, though, yes, Peterbot and Pollo did absolutely well there, but Queasy, a solo on the low ground with no mats, able to get back-to-back eliminations as well, just making sure that they are still collecting those points because they don't want to see the 150-point deficit that they saw from yesterday.
Yeah, they really don't. Really well-played game from these guys. I mean, it's unfortunate that Peterbot and Pollo had such a good game from their perspective because this was another solid performance from them. You saw how Thomas HD went down right there. Really unfortunate situation. Queasy was actually able to pick up Thomas HD's materials once he was finally eliminated in the storm, so that just kept him going and allowed him to make this solo clutch. Some really, really nice eliminations. This one in particular, unfortunate that he couldn't get those builds, because I think if he could have got those builds, he would have had a little bit of a better placement in the end, but solo clutching 6 is so, so good, and particularly for Queasy, who I feel like people don't often give him the credit as a really great mechanical player. It's all about Thomas HD. He's the fragger, he's the best player in this duo, but no, Queasy has what it takes as well. He's proved it previously, he's proved it today. He is one that can perform as a solo.
And think just off that performance, right? That was enough to kind of, because Peterbot and Pollo could have run off, right? Yeah. And that was enough to just hold them on and just say, like, look, you're going to pull ahead, but I'm going to make sure that lead is not as big as it could have been. Props to Queasy after that, my goodness. Also as well, just a couple highlights from the last game, Dukes and Sphinx. Dukes making into that second place, they burned so much for that high ground, though. Still, second place, placement and eliminations, that's huge.
Yeah, and Dukes and Sphinx had a pretty good day 1 as well, so to keep that rolling into day number 2, to control high ground there as well was very smart. Cammy and Seti for a moment there had high ground, but then they saw that they had low mats. That's when Dukes and Sphinx went up, and Cammy and Seti very smartly dropping down, not even trying to fight for it, because when you have no mats, what's the point there? Dukes and Sphinx capitalizing on that awareness, did a great job in that game.
Yeah, they did. And as you mentioned, Zeke, it's always tough to sort of keep those materials going when you're a high ground team like that. We saw at the end, Dukes didn't quite have the materials to try and win that final 1v1. I expect to see this team making more end games, though. It's nice to see them getting that second place, as you mentioned, a really solid day for them yesterday. So building on that, not crumbling under the pressure of having that good performance in day 1. I'm excited to see what they can do.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fam, we are now at the halfway point of the competition. Only 3 games left to go. Our players have left the stage. Now they'll have a moment here of respite. They'll be able to eat, talk to their coaches. So when we return from this next break, we'll have more for you here from the FNCS.